Let's draw closer. Let's have intimate fellowship. Let's draw closer so that we can enjoy our final session. We've got just about 15 minutes, and I want to listen to a few quick reports. So let's have group 1 and 2 telling us about their working title and giving us the structure of the sermon. Group 1 and 2. Yes. Yeah, I wish you had told me before. I was going to use my authority here, but I've already blown it. Okay, group 1 and 2. Group 1 and 2. Give us the sentence and the structure only. The camera, the microphone is waiting. Just raise your hand. Group 1 and 2. Good.
So we looked at the structure of Psalm 23. And our structure is like this. The Lord is our shepherd. We shall not be in want, because we are preaching to the congregation. So we use the word our instead of a singular phrase. Then we came to turning the sentence into a current relevant statement. We said that God takes care of us and our needs. We shall not be in need of anything. Okay? Then we move to stating the point, and we said, He makes me lie down in green pastures.
That's point 1. Point 2.
Well, point 2, He leads us in path of righteousness.
Point 3.
He leads us beside the still quiet waters.
Point 4, it's sounding like every sentence is a point.
No, there's no point.
So that's where you stopped.
No. We went to validation and the other stuff.
No, those things I want us to leave there. So you did not go as far as the further points. You didn't reach the end.
Not really, but we looked at all those things that the psalmist is saying that he shall not want.
You opened it up.
Yes, we opened it up. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Group 2? Group 2? The microphone is ready. Okay, right there towards the end.
For us, it was our welfare depends on the Lord's shepherdhood.
Say that again. Our
welfare
depends
on the Lord's shepherdhood.
Okay, good.
We did not start with verse 1.
Okay.
We left it to the end and we ran out of time. So I'll start from point 2.
Okay.
The Lord is all we need. Our anchor was from verse 2 and 3.
The anchors I want to handle the other groups.
Okay.
I just wanted
The points.
your sermon title or working title
And
then the sub points. That's all I wanted.
All right. So the first sub point, the Lord is all we need.
Yeah. Number 2.
We are safe in the Lord.
Okay. You've got another one. Number 3.
The Christian journey is secured and guaranteed.
Okay. That's it.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Let's have group 3 as well to give us the working title and the structure. Group 3, thank you.
From the working title.
Yeah.
Subject to debate. We didn't really conclude on the title, but this is what we came up with. So we said, the Lord is our comforter, and if we keep his covenants, we shall dwell in his house forever.
All right. It's fair.
Okay.
Good. Let's break it down now.
Our breakdown was coming from verse 1, we wanted to explain and expand on the relationship that we have with God. Him being our shepherd and how he protects us. Then verse 2 was...
Verse 2 or point 2?
Point 2.
Okay.
Yes. Point 2 was what does this relationship mean to us? That was our point 2, and that's as far as we went.
Okay. All right. All right. You have a sense of the direction. Okay. What I want us to do now is let's listen to group 4, 5, and 6 on the just the way you opened up, just 1 point each, just 1 point, any point. The way you added flesh to that point. Did anybody belong to group 4? No one, right? Okay, all right, there she is. There you are, bearing in mind that it was only 50% of the blood functioning, bearing that in mind. Please go ahead.
We didn't really add much to the structure, but only one statement that we came up with, which is the authority and leadership of God over our lives, which is coming from the very first verse, which is verse 1.
Okay, so that's your statement. The statement is, God has authority and what?
Leadership.
God has authority and leadership over our lives.
Yes.
Okay? Then you do what? What was the next thing?
The next thing was where now we're saying he leads us.
I want the same one. You are now opening it up. So you've stated it. What's the next? Thank you.
Oh, anchoring it on verse 2 and 4 and 3.
No. It was verse 1 itself. You told us that it was verse 1.
Yes, it was verse 1.
Yeah.
But we went further.
When you go further, there must be a statement for that further. Okay?
Oh, okay.
So each point must have the statement about it, and then you tell us the verse, and you said it was verse 1. Okay? Then you validate it. So can you validate that for us?
We didn't do the validation.
It's quite simple. It's to say a shepherd has complete control over his sheep. He's in charge. You're validating. That's connecting that word. What was that first? Authority, what?
Authority and
Yes.
leadership.
Yeah, so what you're doing in validation is simply making people see that what you've said is actually what the statement is saying. Okay? So once you anchor, you validate, then you do what? Explain. It looks like too much blood went to the stomach. Okay, you're being rescued from this direction. Okay, yeah, so you explain now so that it makes sense that that teaching that you are giving about the authority and leadership of God over our lives is appreciated, it's understood. Okay, so that's the explanation. Assuming that we follow your breakdown. And then you simply apply. And applying can even be in a question form. Is God the Lord over your life? As you're sitting here, is He the Lord over your life? That's it. Then you proceed to the next one. Okay. Group 5. Take us somewhere else, group 5. Group 5, where are you? Okay, right at the back.
Hello, testing. In our group, we had a challenge. We did not agree on the whole structure. We came up with the sentences, but we did not agree. So we had a challenge. We did not proceed further.
Okay. The members said, "Wamukolo nga bafula." So the sun took long to come up. Oh, group 6 is the one that disintegrated, eh? Oh, okay. All right.
So for group 6, I think we go through one of the statements. And the statement is that God is our protector and comforter. And our anchor is in verse 4, which talks about, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil, for you are with me."
Okay. So, hold on. I just want to take you slowly. So, did you have an actual structure?
Yes.
You did?
We structured from the initial structure that we made
Yes.
earlier, then we structured them into statements which are more contemporary.
Yeah.
And then
So
after that,
yes, then you want to open up one of them. Good.
Yes, one of them.
So can I just hear what those sermonics structure were? Don't worry if they're not very nice, because the main thing I want to hear is exactly what you were beginning to do. But I just want to hear the structure first.
Okay, so the first one was the character and goodness of the shepherd.
Good.
Then the God as our protector and comforter, the good shepherd.
Okay.
Then we also talked about God is good and worthy of our trust.
Okay, so which one are you about to open up for
I'm
us?
talking about number 2, God, our protector and comforter.
Okay, good.
Yes.
So proceed now.
Yeah,
So
our
state
anchor,
it.
Yes.
State it.
God, our protector and comforter.
Okay, so you say God is our protector because you are stating it now. Okay? So we learn now that God is our what?
Protector and
Protector
comforter.
and comforter. Good. Then what do you do after that?
We anchor it, so we read from Psalm 20.
Perfect. The next?
So
So you've anchored. What's the next thing?
validation.
Okay.
So our validation is that God protects us and He guides us, even though.
It's showing how this verse is saying what you've just said. So just, all you do is just explain that, as sheep are going through a valley and it's dark, that's what this is about, the shadow of death. The normal thing, if there was no shepherd, would be to fear because of wolves and so on, wild animals. But once a shepherd is there, you are with me. then there's a sense of security. And if I'm straying, the shepherd will do this. And so in that sense, you can see that this is talking about security and comfort. So you validated it.
Okay.
Then now, you start saying what you want to say, because you're now explaining now the teaching about God being our security and so on. Yeah.
I think one of the things that we also discussed, we had come up with a cross-reference. So
Yeah.
the cross-reference was from Luke 15, the parable of the lost sheep,
Yeah.
and how
He goes out
goes
to look
out
for them.
to look for the sheep, yes. And then in application, one of the things that we discussed was that we have to put all our trust in God, because regardless of what we might be going through, He'll still be there. And He gives us assurance that He will be there and will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
There we are. I'm looking for an assistant pastor at Kawata. Are you available? Okay, so I hope you can see that it's not that hard. It's just that it's a system that you go through, and once you learn to go through it, the teaching becomes expository. People can see that what you are saying is there in front. Okay, so that was group what? Group 6. Group 7. Dun dun. I'm sure by now there should be some courage now. Group 7.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the first statement, when it dealt with the first part of it, we didn't have enough time to do the others. So we titled it, "The Lord is my shepherd." Okay. And then we moved to anchor it to obviously verse 1 of Psalm, and then validating it with...
Sorry, you've gone very fast. So did you work on the structure?
Yes.
Just the points?
Yes.
Okay, just give them to me.
Okay. So the Lord is shepherd as a summary. Okay. On the anchor, we just put...
I just want the structure. Just the
statements.
sub-points.
Okay. So to find nice sounding titles, so we settled with the ones that we did earlier.
Okay.
So what He is to me,
Yeah.
what He does for me, what the end of all this is.
Okay, good. So let's now go to your which of those points have you?
Yes. So God is my shepherd, who He is to me.
So who He is to me.
Yes.
Okay. So you are speaking to the people and you are saying, first of all, let us see who the Lord is to us. Good. Begin. So you've stated it, who the Lord is to us. The next thing?
So He's our shepherd. Next thing is we show it from other scriptures that indeed He is the shepherd.
Just the scripture itself first.
Yes. Oh.
So read this scripture now.
But
The Lord is my shepherd,
yes.
I will lack nothing.
Yes, I will lack
okay,
nothing.
so
Yes.
you've anchored it, then you validate it. So how are you going to validate it? Just in one sentence.
I am the good shepherd from John chapter 10, verse 11.
Validation, how can I make this point? Validation, okay, if I said to you that God is like a chicken, a number of you are already saying, okay. But then if I add the phrase that He draws us under Him like a hen gathers its chicks, you all go, aha! Okay, so that's what validation is. Validation, you are simply trying to make people to see that that statement you made is actually what this verse is saying. Now, if it's a little too strange, you have to do a little bit more homework. If it's very obvious, you cross over it very quickly, like a small stream, just and you've gone. So, but it's important because the people who are listening to you need to be able to say, yes, what he has said is what God has said, before you begin explaining. Otherwise, it's like you're just explaining your own thoughts. So that's where, when you anchor, you connect, you validate. And once the lights are on, then you begin to explain the teaching itself. Yeah. Okay. So when you said who he is to us, we said you turn it into a statement like, first of all, we shall see who the Lord is to us. And verse 1, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. So to validate it would be something like, David was a shepherd, and he knew the vital relationship that was between a sheep and the shepherd. That everything that a sheep would need was dependent on the shepherd. It was this relationship. And even for us, we have this same relationship with the Lord. And so you've made that connection to that statement that you made. Okay, so that's the anchoring and validation, in a sense, it has been combined in the two. So what's the explanation that you now have?
We basically around the roles of a shepherd in terms of leading the sheep, protecting the sheep, providing for the sheep, and leading them through.
So the problem there is you are now going into the rest of the passage, and yet you said your point was just the relationship. So once you now start straying there, what is your next point going to be? You've already emptied it. Okay, so that's why I keep saying you let the text control you, and not you just wanting to say what you want to say. It's a bit of a discipline, but it works well once you learn the discipline, so that at this point, all you are saying to yourself is, I don't want to talk about what the Lord does for us because it is going down there. I want to stick to who he is to us. And open that up, which is quite simple. Well, simple because I do it a lot. But for instance, you can say that in Christianity, rather, Christianity differs from all other religions in the world in that it's about a personal relationship. Muslims will not tell you that Muhammad is my shepherd. They don't relate to Muhammad. He died a long time ago. They've remained with his teachings. Okay? But Christians alone can speak in terms of the fact that he walks with me, he talks with me. I have a relationship with the Lord. You can open it up by also saying that that's one way in which you know whether you become a Christian or not. Before you become a Christian, you go to church, you listen to sermons, you pray prayers, okay? But there's no real relationship with somebody. But when you become a real Christian, there's a very real relationship, and it is a servant-Lord relationship. He becomes your father, you are his child. Becomes your master, you are his servant. He becomes your shepherd, you are his sheep. So if you notice, I'm opening it up without beginning to talk about what he gives me, because I need to keep those things for the next point. Okay, so just allow the text to control you. Otherwise, especially if you're doing a series, if you free yourself too much, what will happen is when you go to prepare yourself now for the next section, you'll be thinking, nakamba kuda life. See, so you've got the passage, but you said everything last week. Okay, thank you very much. That's number what? 7. Okay, group 8. Can someone give us something lower than, the first verses? You didn't have the time. Oh, good. Here is, let's see.
Maybe let me give the outline and then go to the...
Yeah, that's the way I like it, yeah.
Yeah, so the title is, we settled for this one, I know whom I have believed.
Okay.
And we're really thinking about that personal relationship between God and his people, and indeed the shepherd and the sheep. But first point is, the Lord is my shepherd, he takes charge of, rather, the Lord is our shepherd who takes charge of our lives.
Good. Number 2?
Number 2 is that he takes care of us when in danger.
Good. Number 3?
Number 3 is, it's all by his goodness and mercy that we have confidence in him.
Good. Is there any more? That's it.
That was the last point.
Okay, so which one do you want to share with us?
Maybe the second point.
Okay.
Where we said he takes care of me when I'm in danger.
Yeah.
And this is where he uses, even the presence of the enemies, he lays a table for me.
Okay, so we make the statement first. Okay, so God takes care of us when we are in danger. Yeah. Okay, and we're thinking because of the application, it's spiritual danger especially. Okay, so then you anchor it. So now you read. Okay, so we've read verse 4. Then you validate it. Yeah. So can I hear something about validation? That's what this is talking about.
Yeah, and that's with his rod and staff, he comforts me. That means when I go astray, he brings me back.
So that's illustrating it first of all with the agrarian world, and then you say that's exactly what God does to us through his word and spirit. Okay? Yeah. Then you now explain. Just one or two sentences, just like we said, feel that you're explaining.
Because we are saying, I know whom I have believed. In other words, we now, when we talk about him leading us with his rod and staff, we can validate.
Yeah, but begin with this, the reality of walking through the valley of the shadow of death. The reality, and then the answer is the rod and staff. So what would that reality be with an actual Christian living in this world? What are the kind of dangers that we go through?
Now, to be honest, we didn't go into that, but I think I can give my view.
Okay, just give one sentence.
The dangers in this life could be the fact that we are constantly being opposed by, the world and the evil one.
Yes,
and so that's the danger that we do go through.
Yes, and then now is his rod and his staff. So that way, you've covered the whole of this. Apply, just one application, off the top of your head.
You might find yourself needing spiritual discipline.
And then...
and you yield to that because the Lord has revealed to you that you've sinned. And so you yield to that and accept the correction of the leadership. That's brought back to the sheep, to the sheep pen. So you're corrected.
The sheepfold, yes. Yeah. Okay, so do not be a stubborn mule. God, in restoring you, uses your own church leaders. Listen to them. It is for your own good, blah, 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 and so on. Thank you very much. So, I hope you've sensed, we've overshot a little bit. I hope you've sensed the way we've traveled. We began, I'm just imagining here. We began with the passage of scripture. We broke it down into its bits and pieces. We looked at what its structure was. We finally summarized it into one nice sentence. That we brought down to a sermonic title or sentence, We then gave it a structure. We are comparing how is this structure working with this, just as the title we've compared. And then we now, instead of just putting gibberish all the time here, we don't want confusion. We streamline it nicely, but it's the content. But we are streamlining it through the save a point. So we state it, or in preaching they say you proclaim it, you make a proclamation, and then you anchor it into the text, by simply reading the text so they can see that, and then you validate it, just a few words to show that that's what's happening here, and so forth. So, and then you explain. The explanation, the next time we meet, I will spend a little bit more time on the explanation. Okay? Because I think today, I wanted you to have a sense of the movement. Because if we do too much in one day, you know how it is. When someone is just talking, your brain gets full, and everything is now flowing on top. You're not going with anything. Okay. I wanted you to just have that sense of movement that way and back, and this is now talking to each other. You can read that passage and you can say, yes, I have the explanation for it, the application for it, and I can proceed to go and teach. Okay, so what I would like us to do is to exercise what we've done today as individuals on Psalm 2. On your own. Not today, because I know right now your CPU, your central processing unit, is sort of hot. It needs to cool down, okay? But anytime, then what you do is, if you've got enough guts, and I can assure you I'm friendly, you can email it to me. Okay? And all I'll do, just superficially, I'll just do a quick look and send it back to you. Now my email, that's the reason I'm saying email rather than WhatsApp and so on. Email is just my name at gmail.com. Very simple. Conrad Mbewe, no full stop, no space, no dash, nothing, at gmail.com. So when you've done your Psalm 2, you go this way and that way. That's all I want. That journey, and you send it to me. If there is something that is very big that needs correction, I will. Otherwise, I'll just make a comment and email it back to you. Then, I've given a few dates to Mr. Chingambu, so he will discuss with whoever the relevant people are to come up with the next date. So that next date when we meet, we will look at a narrative passage now. This was poetry. We'll look at a narrative passage. And it will be basically the same journey with a few changes. But the goodness is that the more you do the journey, the easier this whole process becomes. And then we'll find a third and final day, or hopefully make it final, sometime later, when we will do a direct teaching passage, direct teaching. Okay, like Romans, Ephesians, Galatians, or whatever. But it's very clearly teaching there. Because then you don't normally take a whole chapter. You take a smaller section, and you look at it. So we'll also do that. And again, we'll do the same journey. Because once you begin to see this journey helping you every time, it just becomes a lot easier. But what we will also do is, when we come, for instance, next time, I'll spend a little more time now on the explanation. Because explanation, there are a number of things that help with explaining the truth that is in that text. Okay, and so forth. So we'll keep going that way. And as I was saying to your leaders here, when we come to the last session, the last attempt or round, I want us to also throw in the dynamics of now actual delivery, whether you're teaching in a classroom or a preaching situation like this. What are the things that obstruct the word of God from genuinely flowing to people? And I think, generally speaking, I mean, there's a lot I cover when I'm teaching what is called homiletics. But generally speaking, this should be, anyone who will go through those 3 lessons, I think, and especially if you're doing your homework before you come, like I think most of you now, your Psalm 23, you won't want to show it to me, which is all right, because that's the whole idea about learning. Okay, but obviously you are the better for it when you do exercise before and then you come to class, because then you will see what the mistakes were which you were making. Okay, I'd like us to part, but I will be handing over obviously to Mr. Lupunga here. But one question that's burning. Oh yeah. Yeah. I think one was to do with what happens in a situation where you come to a group and they just said to you, could you share something from God's word? Obviously, you don't have time to make that journey. What do you do? The answer is quite simple. At least for me, I go to my quiet time. What is it that I was meditating on recently? And that's what I tend to share. So that's one. Other people, especially preachers, they normally have a lot of sermons that they're always carrying with them. So if I end up in a situation like that, my iPad must have easily 1,000 sermons by now. So all I do is I ask for a bit of time in a corner, I pray, and while I'm praying, I'm scrolling through the messages, and one of them leaps and grabs me saying, preach me, preach me, preach me. And so there we are. So I then proceed and I do it. So obviously you are relying on your own dealing with God's word before. You don't sort of close your eyes, just open and then go like this and put a finger on a page, because you can tell lies in the process. So I think that's what I would normally say, that when that situation occurs, fall back on the fact that, you are like ants which gather in summer so that they can then have a store of food in winter. Yeah. There was a second question that you asked close to it, but, I hit 60 a few years ago. Okay. Thank you. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Background. Good teacher,
Yeah, what kind of habits should a preacher have, or a teacher, a good preacher or teacher in the background? There are 2 things that I mentioned that were foundational. Okay, remember that foundation I talked about. One of them is being much in the Bible and also being much in prayer. In other words, your convictions on Scripture and on the Holy Spirit. Those 2 they are rails on which you will have to be for the rest of your life. So that is one. The other is what I called studying human nature. Studying human nature. First of all, it's studying your own heart, because, you're also a human. So what are the things that tend to lead you into sin, that keep you away from fellowship, that keep you away from the Lord, and so on. So you are a deliberate student of life. What is it that makes us think that the more things you own, the better or the happier you will be, and so on, or that falling in love finally gives you everything that you've been dreaming for? What are those things? So you are a person who genuinely is not just carried away with about life, but you are studious. You are understanding life and the way in which God's word feeds into it. And obviously, because remember I talked about it's both a vertical and horizontal relationship. You do have to watch your walk with God. Sin will inevitably eat away at your inside. And once it has done that, then you become a resounding gong or a clanging cymbal. You lose the power because God is not using you. So just being watchful of your own heart, your own life, and so forth. Yeah. So those kinds of things. And for those of us who are married, your relationship with your spouse is important because that's where we really get tested the most. So just making sure that that relationship is healthy, it's guarded, and so forth, that becomes an all-important task. So the family, the children around you before they fly out of the nest, again, just making sure that there's a wholesome environment in that context. Because you can't be fighting wars out there and then you come home and again fight other wars. Somewhere along the line you lose the battle. So to be consistently one who is a teacher, bringing old and new things, as Jesus said, out of the basket, there's that spiritual consistency that you need to watch. Yeah. Thank you very much.